Second land use model, the sector model. So what I've done here is, if you look it up, if you're the people that say, screw this, I'm not going to listen to these videos and read this text, I'm just going to look up the answers online, you might find the sector model to look a little bit different than this one here. Why does it look different? Is because I've made this, or I've applied this, to look like Indianapolis. So I try to make this because it's definitely apparent here. Whereas the concentric ring model, yeah, we can see a little bit of that. We definitely see more of the sector model in the case of understanding Indianapolis's urban form and structure. So once again, this is one that's related to transportation networks. And so people live, the different groupings are based on where different key transportation networks are, i.e. railroads, or a very, very desirable or environmentally beautiful boulevard. So all this helps to understand Indianapolis, which we'll attempt to do right now here with Indianapolis. And so once again, the Central Business District just continues on. It's still there. But when we think about the next zone, Zone 2, what we have is we have a different pattern. We don't have these rings. Instead, we have Zone 2 aligning itself to be along railroads, which we can kind of see here in the Google map. You can see the train tracks there faintly. And so what we have here is a pattern of businesses, particularly industry, warehouses, wholesalers, who have clustered along railroads to take advantage of transportation. It's much more efficient to move, to sell your products, to get your products to and from your location via rail, especially in this era before airplanes really started to take off. And so this is, once again, explains patterns there in the early 20th century, but more in the early, in the 1930s, 40s, and early 50s, before the automobile really takes hold. And so what we have here is businesses, owners that are aligning themselves along railroads, and then subsequently lower income residents also being found in this particular area. And so the concentric ring model continues on, but then you start to have low income areas kind of clustered around of Zone 2, which was nice and useful because low-income jobs were closer to low-income individuals. And so, although these weren't high-paying jobs found in Zone 2, like you would find in Zone 1, instead, though, it definitely, you didn't have to, travel across the city or have to go way out to the suburbs just to find a job that paid a good enough wage. Next up, we have the streetcar suburbs, and like I said, that pretty much just continues on. But one of the things you'll notice as we go throughout the 20th century, more and more streetcar suburbs, and more of these Zone 4 individuals, middle income, middle class individuals, now have the opportunity to buy a car. And so you see the car is more common, so people living further and further out. Then eventually, like I said, though, we have that distinctive characteristic of the sector model, which we definitely see in Indianapolis, and that's as you go north of the Central Business District, especially as you get beyond where that Zone 3 kind of transition area, especially when you get up towards Butler University, up closer to Broad Ripple, then farther up on Meridian Street, you'll definitely see a zone of high wealth, high income that comes emanating from the spine of Indianapolis downtown all the way to the northern suburbs, particularly Carmel. So this is a particular pattern that you clearly see in Indianapolis.